The 1960s brought us many automotive icons, from the Ford Mustang to the Chevrolet Camaro. However, not every car of the decade stood the test of time. Some designs, heralded as innovative or stylish in their day, quickly became outdated, impractical, or downright bizarre. These 11 cars serve as cautionary tales, reminding us that what seems bold today might look foolish tomorrow.
Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support.
Number 11. The 1960 Dodge Dart Pioneer aimed to capitalize on the tailfin craze of the late 1950s, presenting itself as a stylish, mid-range offering. While it succeeded in standing out initially, its design quickly fell out of favor as the automotive industry moved towards cleaner, more minimalist aesthetics in the early 1960s. The Dart Pioneer featured large tail fins, a hallmark of 1950s automotive design. By 1960, however, the fin trend was already losing steam, and what once looked futuristic began to appear gaudy and outdated. Competitors like Ford and Chevrolet began introducing subtler rear designs, making the Dart Pioneer seem like a holdover from the past. The car's sweeping body lines and abundance of chrome trim were emblematic of the era, but soon clashed with the emerging preference for cleaner, more restrained designs. These exaggerated elements made the Pioneer look bulky and overly busy, especially when compared to the sleeker designs of later years. The Dart Pioneer's proportions leaned toward the large and unwieldy, with a high beltline and a somewhat awkward stance. This made it appear less agile and modern, especially as automotive design moved toward more aerodynamic profiles. While the interior offered comfort, the materials and styling also reflected the excesses of the late 1950s. With garish patterns and chrome accents that quickly felt dated, competitors began offering more modern, streamlined interiors, leaving the Pioneer behind in appeal. The Dart Pioneer faced stiff competition from better designed and more forward-thinking models in the same price range, such as the Chevrolet Impala and Ford Galaxy. Its reliance on fading design trends and lack of innovation made it less appealing to buyers looking for something fresh and contemporary. The Pioneer offered a range of engine choices, from a modest inline-six to a V8, catering to different buyer needs. For its time, the V8 options provided respectable performance, which appealed to buyers seeking power. At launch, the Pioneer's bold use of fins and curves set it apart, making it eye-catching on the road. It appealed to buyers who appreciated the exuberant design language of the late 1950s. The 1960 Dodge Dart Pioneer is remembered as a transitional model, caught between the excesses of the 1950s and the cleaner, more restrained designs of the 1960s. While it initially stood out for its bold styling, its reliance on fading trends and lack of forward-thinking design doomed it to obsolescence. The 1960 Dodge Dart Pioneer exemplifies how rapidly automotive trends can shift, leaving even bold designs in the dust. Its excessive fins and curves quickly became relics of a bygone era, making it a prime example of a car that aged poorly in the face of changing tastes. Number 10. The 1961 Chrysler Imperial was a bold attempt to differentiate itself in the luxury market. Designed to compete with Cadillac and Lincoln, it leaned heavily on distinctive, unconventional styling cues and sheer size to stand out. However, its exaggerated proportions and peculiar design elements, like freestanding headlights, turned it into an automotive oddity rather than a timeless classic. One of the most polarizing features was the use of freestanding headlights perched on pods extending from the front fenders. While intended to evoke a sense of elegance and grandeur, the design instead came off as awkward and out of place. As automotive design evolved toward integrated and cohesive front-end aesthetics, the Imperial's headlights seemed increasingly dated. At over 227 inches long, the Imperial was a true land yacht. Its massive size made it unwieldy to drive and park, even by the standards of the 1960s. The bulk not only hurt practicality, but also alienated buyers as the industry began to favor sleeker, more manageable proportions. While tail fins were already on their way out by 1961, the Imperial stubbornly clung to the trend. Its tail fins were overly pronounced and seemed more like a relic of the 1950s than a modern design choice. The interior was luxurious but overly ornate, with materials and design choices that quickly felt excessive and old-fashioned. Competing luxury models like the Lincoln Continental offered a more modern and understated approach to interior design. The Imperial came equipped with advanced but complex features, such as push-button transmissions and air suspension in some models. These systems were prone to mechanical issues, adding to the car's reputation as being troublesome to maintain. The Imperial was equipped with a 413 cubic inch V8 engine, producing 350 horsepower, which provided strong performance for such a large vehicle. Despite its size, the car could hold its own in terms of acceleration, making it a true powerhouse in its class. The Imperial came loaded with premium features, including power windows, air conditioning, and a sophisticated sound system, appealing to affluent buyers. The bold design stood out in showrooms, appealing to buyers looking for something different from the standard Cadillac or Lincoln offerings. The 1961 Chrysler Imperial is remembered as a daring but ultimately misguided attempt to break new ground in luxury car design. Its freestanding headlights and massive dimensions may have been distinctive, but they also made it a victim of rapidly changing design trends. The 1961 Chrysler Imperial exemplifies how excess and unconventional styling can backfire. While its unique features made it stand out at the time, they also doomed it to obsolescence as automotive design shifted toward modern, cohesive aesthetics. Today it serves as an intriguing reminder of an era when bigger and bolder didn't always mean better. Number 9. The 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL was introduced as a premium version of the standard Galaxie, aiming to blend luxury and performance in a full-size car. Despite some technical improvements, its boxy design and lack of innovation in styling failed to keep pace with the automotive trends of the 1960s, leaving it looking dated almost immediately. The Galaxie 500 XL's squared-off design felt more like a holdover from the late 1950s than a forward-looking model for the 1960s. While competitors like the Chevrolet Impala embraced sleeker, more dynamic lines, the Galaxie's styling seemed conservative and unimaginative. Its upright profile lacked the visual excitement that buyers were beginning to associate with sportier full-size cars. The XL trim was marketed as a sportier and more luxurious version of the Galaxie, but the differences were largely cosmetic. Aside from bucket seats, a floor shifter, and some extra chrome, the 500 XL failed to stand out meaningfully from the standard Galaxie. At nearly 17 feet long, the Galaxie 500 XL was a large car that prioritized interior space over agility or sleekness. This heavy, boxy design contrasted poorly with the growing demand for cars that combine performance with streamlined aesthetics. The Chevrolet Impala and Pontiac Bonneville offered more daring and stylish designs, drawing attention away from Ford's more staid approach. Buyers seeking a sporty, full-size car were more likely to turn to the Impala SS, which had a stronger performance image. While the Galaxie 500 XL was offered with powerful V8 options, its engineering didn't push any boundaries. The handling and braking were average at best, and the car lacked the refinement of some rivals in its class. The Galaxie 500 XL was available with Ford's big V8 engines, including the potent 390 cubic inch V8, which provided solid performance for the time. These engines helped establish a foundation for Ford's performance reputation, even if the car itself was uninspiring. The bucket seats and center console in the 500 XL added a touch of luxury that appealed to buyers looking for a more premium experience. The interior was spacious and comfortable, living up to its role as a full-size family car. The 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL serves as an example of how staying too conservative in design can hinder a car's appeal. While its mechanical performance and interior features were adequate, its styling failed to capture the excitement and innovation that defined the 1960s automotive landscape. The 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL aged poorly because it didn't take risks or adapt to changing consumer preferences. In a decade when bold, sleek designs were becoming the norm, the Galaxie's boxy styling and lack of differentiation left it overshadowed by more daring competitors. Today, it's remembered more as a missed opportunity than a milestone in Ford's history. Number 8. The 1964 Chevrolet Malibu marked the debut of Chevrolet's mid-size Chevelle lineup, offering buyers a smaller alternative to the full-size Impala and Bel Air. While it would go on to become a key player in the muscle car era, the first-year Malibu was hampered by its uninspired design and lack of standout features. The Malibu's boxy, conservative styling was functional but completely unremarkable. It featured little visual differentiation from other mid-size cars of the time, such as the Pontiac Tempest or Ford Fairlane. The straight, slab-sided body and restrained use of chrome gave it an appliance-like appearance rather than a distinct identity. The Malibu offered few features that could be considered groundbreaking or innovative for 1964. Buyers were presented with a generic interior layout, standard mechanical options, and no standout engineering advancements. While the Malibu Supersport SS offered more power, base models were powered by small, unremarkable engines, such as the 194 cubic inch inline-six. This left the entry-level Malibu feeling underpowered compared to some competitors, especially as the muscle car era began to take shape. The 1964 Pontiac GTO, introduced the same year, offered a bold combination of style and performance, stealing the spotlight in the midsize segment. Ford's Fairlane and Mercury Comet also offered more distinctive designs or performance options, leaving the Malibu as a forgettable alternative. Chevrolet aimed to appeal to the widest audience possible, but this resulted in a car that lacked personality. The bland design and lack of any signature features meant the 1964 Malibu didn't stand out in Chevrolet's own lineup, let alone the broader market. Despite its bland start, the Malibu laid the groundwork for future Chevelle models, including iconic muscle cars like the 1968 Chevelle SS 396. The platform's versatility and affordability helped Chevrolet refine the Malibu into a more exciting vehicle in later years. The Malibu's mid-size dimensions struck a balance between the bulk of full-size cars and the cramped interiors of compacts. It offered solid reliability, making it a practical choice for families seeking an affordable, no-frills car. The Malibu could be optioned with a range of engines, from the modest inline-six to a 283 cubic inch V8, allowing buyers to tailor the car to their needs. The 1964 Malibu is remembered as a safe but uninspired introduction to what would later become one of Chevrolet's most beloved nameplates. While it lacked the charisma or innovation to make it a standout in its time, its success as a mid-size car gave Chevrolet a platform to build upon in the years to come. The 1964 Chevrolet Malibu aged poorly because it failed to differentiate itself in an increasingly competitive market. Its plain design, lack of innovation, and underwhelming base performance left it overshadowed by more exciting and forward-thinking competitors. Today, it's viewed as a stepping stone rather than a classic in its own right. Number 7. The 1965 Plymouth Barracuda arrived as Plymouth's response to the growing pony car segment ignited by the Ford Mustang. Built on the compact Valiant platform, the Barracuda offered sporty intentions, but struggled to capture the excitement and charisma that made the Mustang an instant icon. The Barracuda's signature fastback, while unique, felt like an afterthought rather than an integrated design. The rear window was an enormous curved piece of glass, which gave it a polarizing appearance and earned mixed reviews for its awkward proportions. Compared to the sleek and cohesive styling of the Ford Mustang, the Barracuda's design looked forced and lacked elegance. Much of the Barracuda's exterior, especially the front end, was borrowed directly from the Valiant, making it look more like a dressed-up economy car than a true performance vehicle. The uninspired grille and trim failed to exude the sporty appeal that buyers expected from a pony car. The base Barracuda came with a modest 225 cubic inch slant-six engine, which delivered adequate performance for everyday driving but lacked excitement. Optional V8s, such as the 273 cubic inch engine, provided better power, but even the upgraded performance couldn't compete with the Mustang's wide range of engine choices. Plymouth marketed the Barracuda as a sporty car, but its economy car roots alienated buyers seeking an aspirational vehicle. It failed to capture the youthful energy and enthusiasm that the Mustang so effectively tapped into. The Ford Mustang dominated the segment with its stylish design, powerful options, and extensive marketing campaign. The Barracuda struggled to stand out, especially when Chevrolet's Camaro and Pontiac's Firebird entered the fray a couple of years later. The Barracuda's massive rear window was a technical achievement, offering excellent visibility and a distinctive feature that set it apart. This innovation showcased Plymouth's willingness to experiment with bold design elements, even if the execution fell short. Thanks to its compact, valiant underpinnings, the Barracuda was more practical and affordable than many competitors, appealing to budget-conscious buyers. The rear seat could fold down to provide impressive cargo space, a feature uncommon in sporty cars of the era. The Barracuda inherited the Valiant's reputation for reliability and durability, making it a dependable choice for buyers who prioritize function over flash. While the 1965 Barracuda failed to achieve the cultural impact of its rivals, it laid the groundwork for future iterations. The Barracuda would eventually evolve into a true muscle car in the late 1960s and early 1970s, earning its place as a classic in the high-performance segment. However, the first-generation model remains a reminder of Plymouth's struggles to keep up with the fast-moving pony car market. The 1965 Plymouth Barracuda aged poorly because it lacked the style, performance, and identity to compete with the Mustang and other pony cars. Its awkward design and conservative approach left it in the shadows of more exciting competitors, making it a forgotten footnote in the early days of the segment. Number 6. The 1966 Buick Wildcat aimed to blend performance and luxury, appealing to buyers seeking a powerful yet comfortable ride. However, as the automotive landscape evolved, the Wildcat's design choices and execution failed to resonate with changing consumer preferences. The Wildcat was massive, with a long hood and expansive body, giving it an imposing presence that quickly became outdated. The bulky dimensions made it difficult to maneuver in urban settings and contributed to a heavy feel that detracted from driving enjoyment. The design of the 1966 Wildcat was a mix of conventional elements that lacked originality, making it appear more like a relic from an earlier era. While chrome accents and sweeping lines were typical for the time, the Wildcat's overall aesthetic felt bland and failed to capture the boldness expected in luxury cars. As the mid-1960s saw a shift toward more compact and streamlined designs, the Wildcat clung to outdated styling cues that did not appeal to the evolving tastes of consumers. Competitors were introducing sleeker, sportier designs, while the Wildcat seemed stuck in a previous decade. The Wildcat did not have unique styling elements that set it apart from other Buick models or its competitors, leading to a perception of it as just another large sedan. Its design lacked the visual excitement that buyers sought in the luxury market during this period. Although it was equipped with a powerful V8 engine, the Wildcat's heavy build compromised its agility and responsiveness, leading to a driving experience that felt more sluggish than exhilarating. The emphasis on comfort came at the expense of performance, alienating buyers looking for a sportier ride. The Wildcat offered a spacious and well-appointed interior, featuring comfortable seating and high-quality materials, appealing to buyers seeking luxury and comfort. Buick's commitment to a smooth ride was evident, providing a plush driving experience that catered to the tastes of its target audience. With a range of powerful V8 engines, the Wildcat provided respectable performance for those seeking a luxurious yet spirited drive. The model appealed to buyers who appreciated the combination of power and comfort, even if the execution fell short in the eyes of critics. The 1966 Buick Wildcat stands as an example of a car that struggled to keep pace with rapidly changing automotive trends. Its failure to embrace modern styling and performance expectations left it feeling outdated even shortly after its release. As the years passed, the Wildcat became a footnote in Buick's history, remembered more for its size than for its impact on the luxury car segment. Ultimately, the 1966 Buick Wildcat aged poorly due to its oversized proportions, uninspired styling, and inability to adapt to contemporary trends. While it offered comfort and power, it lacked the visual appeal and dynamic performance that could have secured its place as a memorable luxury vehicle in the shifting landscape of the mid-1960s. Number 5. The 1968 Chevrolet Caprice was designed to be Chevrolet's flagship full-size model, intended to compete in the increasingly competitive luxury sedan market. However, its execution left much to be desired, resulting in a vehicle that struggled to leave a lasting impression. The Caprice was notably large, which made it cumbersome and less practical for everyday driving, especially in urban settings. While full-size sedans were expected to offer space, the Caprice's size often felt more like a burden than an asset, detracting from its appeal. The design of the 1968 Caprice featured uninspired styling that lacked character and flair. Its boxy shape and generic appearance made it easily forgettable compared to competitors with more dynamic and engaging designs. In a market filled with visually striking competitors, the Caprice failed to distinguish itself, relying on its size rather than innovative design features. The lack of unique styling elements made it blend in rather than stand out, resulting in a lost opportunity to attract discerning buyers. While the Caprice offered a range of engine options, many were not particularly exciting or powerful, leading to a driving experience that felt more mundane than luxurious. This contributed to a perception that the Caprice was just another large car rather than a true luxury vehicle. The Caprice suffered from quality control issues that affected its overall reputation, particularly in the early production runs. Buyers who expected high-end craftsmanship were often disappointed by build quality that did not match the luxury image Chevrolet aimed to project. One of the Caprice's strengths was its roomy and comfortable interior, designed to accommodate families and long-distance travel. Despite its bland exterior, the interior provided a pleasant environment with ample legroom and comfortable seating. The Caprice came equipped with practical features that appealed to buyers looking for everyday usability, including a spacious trunk and convenient amenities. These features made it a solid choice for families and those seeking a functional, full-size sedan. The 1968 Chevrolet Caprice is often remembered as a missed opportunity in the full-size luxury segment. Its oversized dimensions and bland design failed to capture the imagination of buyers, making it easy to overlook in a crowded marketplace. As automotive design evolved, the Caprice struggled to keep pace, ultimately relegating it to a place in history where it is often overshadowed by more innovative competitors. In conclusion, the 1968 Chevrolet Caprice aged poorly due to its oversized and uninspired design, which lacked the pizzazz necessary to compete in the full-size luxury segment. While it offered practicality and comfort, the Caprice failed to make a significant impact, leaving it as a forgotten entry in Chevrolet's lineup. Number 4. The 1969 AMC Javelin SST was AMC's bold attempt to enter the competitive pony car market, aiming to rival iconic models like the Ford Mustang and Chevrolet Camaro. However, despite its aspirations, the Javelin struggled to make a lasting impact and is often overlooked in discussions of classic American muscle. The Javelin's design featured awkward proportions that failed to capture the sporty essence of its competitors. Its long hood and short rear deck resulted in an unbalanced aesthetic, making it less visually appealing compared to the sleek lines of other pony cars. Inside, the Javelin's interior was dominated by cheap materials and an uninspired layout, contributing to a feeling of low quality. This lack of refinement made it difficult to compete with rivals that offered more upscale and well-appointed cabins. While the Javelin was marketed as a performance car, many models offered lackluster engine options that didn't deliver the excitement expected from a pony car. The performance did not live up to the hype, leaving many buyers disappointed in its driving dynamics. AMC struggled with brand recognition, making it challenging for the Javelin to attract buyers who were loyal to more established manufacturers. The lack of marketing support and brand prestige limited the Javelin's visibility in a crowded market filled with iconic names. The Javelin's distinctive split grille and tail design were polarizing, and many found the styling to be a departure from the sleek, aggressive look that defined the pony car segment. This divisive design choice alienated potential buyers who preferred the more classic pony car aesthetics. The Javelin offered some innovative features for its time, such as a rear window that could be opened for better ventilation, showcasing AMC's forward-thinking approach. These features added practicality and comfort, particularly for those seeking a car for everyday use. Priced competitively, the Javelin was an accessible option for buyers looking for a sporty car without breaking the bank. This affordability allowed it to attract a niche audience, particularly younger buyers looking for an entry into the pony car market. The 1969 AMC Javelin SST remains a curious footnote in the history of American muscle cars. Its awkward proportions, plasticky interior, and underwhelming performance contributed to its status as a forgotten entry in the pony car segment. While it offered some innovative features and affordability, it ultimately fell short of the mark set by its competitors, leaving it as a rare sight on today's roads. In conclusion, the 1969 AMC Javelin SST aged poorly due to its awkward design, low-quality interior, and underwhelming performance. While it aimed to compete with the best of the pony car market, the Javelin's shortcomings led it to be overshadowed by more iconic models, relegating it to obscurity in the annals of automotive history. Number 3, the 1964 Cadillac Series 62 exemplified American luxury during a time when excess was celebrated. With its bold presence and high-end features, it aimed to impress, but it quickly became a symbol of an era that had passed as design preferences shifted. The Series 62 was characterized by its large, imposing frame and bulky proportions, which began to feel out of place as the 1960s progressed. As automotive design evolved towards more streamlined aerodynamic shapes, the Cadillac's weighty appearance started to look outdated. Cadillac's signature use of chrome trim became overbearing on the Series 62, contributing to a look that felt ostentatious rather than elegant. By the mid-1960s, automotive taste began to favor subtler, more refined aesthetics, rendering the chrome-heavy design less appealing. While it offered a comfortable ride and luxurious features, the Series 62 did not introduce significant technological innovations compared to its competitors. As rival manufacturers began to embrace new technologies and design philosophies, Cadillac's more traditional approach left it trailing behind in terms of modernity. The hefty build of the Series 62 negatively impacted its handling, making it less agile and responsive than newer luxury models. As consumers began to prioritize performance alongside luxury, the Cadillac's bulk became a liability rather than an asset. The 1960s saw a cultural shift towards more practical and fuel-efficient vehicles, especially following the oil crisis of the 1960s. The 1970s. The Series 62's large size and fuel consumption were at odds with the emerging values of the car-buying public, leading to decreased desirability. The Series 62 was packed with luxury features for its time, including a plush interior, advanced, for the time, climate control, and a smooth ride that appealed to affluent buyers. It set a standard for comfort and refinement, showcasing Cadillac's commitment to luxury. Despite its bulk, the Series 62 featured distinctive styling elements that still draw admiration from classic car enthusiasts. The elongated body and classic Cadillac tail fins are iconic features that represent a bygone era of American luxury. The 1964 Cadillac Series 62 remains a fascinating example of American luxury from the early 1960s. While it offered an impressive array of features and a signature design, its bulky styling and heavy use of chrome contributed to its rapid aging in an industry that was moving towards sleeker and more modern designs. In conclusion, the 1964 Cadillac Series 62 aged poorly due to its bulky design, excessive chrome, and a lack of innovation. Although it represented a pinnacle of luxury during its time, shifting automotive trends quickly rendered it less desirable, making it a reflection of an era that had moved on from the opulent excess of the past. Number 2. The 1969 Chevrolet Kingswood estate wagon was designed to cater to families with its spacious interior and practical features. However, as automotive preferences shifted in subsequent decades, this once popular station wagon quickly became a symbol of excess and outdated design. The Kingswood was known for its enormous proportions, which made it difficult to maneuver and park, especially in urban settings. As compact and mid-size vehicles began to dominate the market in the following years, the Kingswood's bulk felt impractical and cumbersome. The faux wood paneling, which was a hallmark of many station wagons of the era, quickly fell out of favor, making the Kingswood appear outdated and tacky. This styling choice, intended to evoke a sense of nostalgia and rustic charm, instead became a visual cue of dated design trends. The overall design of the Kingswood, with its boxy shape and heavy use of chrome, reflected the excesses of the late 1960s. As automotive design trends moved towards sleeker and more aerodynamic shapes, the Kingswood's angular lines and bulk felt increasingly out of touch. The Kingswood's size contributed to poor fuel economy, which became a significant concern during the oil crises of the 1970s. With rising fuel prices, consumers gravitated towards smaller, more fuel-efficient vehicles, leaving the Kingswood at a disadvantage. The late 1960s marked a transition in consumer preferences, as buyers began to prioritize practicality and efficiency over size and luxury. The Kingswood's lavish features and large dimensions were seen as excessive in a rapidly changing automotive landscape. The Kingswood offered impressive cargo space and seating capacity, making it a practical choice for large families. Its versatility allowed for transporting goods and passengers, showcasing its utility. Equipped with comfortable seating and a range of amenities, the Kingswood aimed to provide a pleasant ride for long journeys. Features like air conditioning and spacious interiors made it a suitable option for family vacations. The 1969 Chevrolet Kingswood estate wagon represents an era of automotive design focused on size and luxury. While it provided practicality and comfort for families, its massive dimensions, faux wood paneling, and dated aesthetics contributed to its poor aging. In summary, the 1969 Chevrolet Kingswood estate wagon aged poorly due to its overwhelming size, outdated design elements, and fuel inefficiency. While it offered practicality during its time, changing consumer preferences and automotive trends made it a relic of late 1960s excess, ultimately relegating it to the annals of automotive history. Number 1. The 1969 Cadillac Fleetwoodbro was designed to be the pinnacle of luxury, offering an impressive array of features and a commanding presence on the road. However, as the automotive landscape evolved, this massive sedan became emblematic of an outdated approach to luxury. The Fleetwoodbro was known for its enormous dimensions, making it a challenge to drive and park, especially in crowded urban areas. As consumer preferences shifted towards more manageable vehicles, the Bro's size became a liability rather than an asset. The Brougham featured an abundance of chrome detailing, which was a signature of luxury vehicles in the late 1960s. However, as tastes evolved, the heavy use of chrome began to feel gaudy and excessive, contributing to the car's outdated image. While the Brougham boasted an impressive array of luxury features, including plush upholstery and advanced amenities for its time, this overindulgence was seen as unnecessary in the face of rising fuel prices and economic concerns in the early 1970s. Many of its features, such as Power Everything, became less appealing as buyers sought more practical and fuel-efficient vehicles. The Cadillac brand had long been associated with luxury and status, but the rising cost of living and fuel crises made the Broughams' opulence seem out of touch with the realities of everyday life. As consumers sought more value for their money, the Broughams' high price tag became a barrier to ownership. The late 1960s and early 1970s saw a significant cultural shift towards minimalism and practicality, moving away from the ostentation that the Brougham represented. As the automotive market began to embrace smaller, more efficient vehicles, the Fleetwoodbro's lavishness felt increasingly antiquated. The Fleetwoodbro was synonymous with luxury and prestige, making it a status symbol for those who could afford it. Its refined design and high-quality materials showcased Cadillac's commitment to craftsmanship. The Brougham offered an exceptionally comfortable ride, with spacious interiors and luxurious features that catered to passenger comfort. Advanced for its time, technology and conveniences, like power windows and air conditioning, aimed to provide a first-class experience. The 1969 Cadillac Fleetwoodbro represents an era of automotive design that prioritized size and luxury at all costs. While it excelled in comfort and prestige, its excessive dimensions, over-the-top chrome, and indulgent features ultimately contributed to its poor aging. In summary, the 1969 Cadillac Fleetwoodbro aged poorly due to its grandiose size, exaggerated chrome accents, and overindulgent luxury features. As automotive tastes shifted towards more practical and efficient designs, the Brougham became a relic of a bygone era, highlighting the stark contrast between luxury and practicality in the evolving automotive market.